Hey, this is Brian. Posting this video to try to help anybody out who has an upstream power level problem on their cable modem. I was able to get my problem fixed after roughly about a year of working with the cable provider. Cable provider in this case is Comcast. Basically the problem is the modem would just power cycle constantly. Some days it would work okay for 3 or 4 hours. Some days it would work okay all day. Some days I couldn't get on at all. And it seemed to kind of go back and forth depending on if it was a busy time of day or a busy day or not. Went through a lot of troubleshooting with Comcast. Had Comcast out to the house or out to the apartment about 3 times. They replaced the cable modem twice. Changed some fittings out at the box, at the central distribution box. Don't know exactly what they did out there, but the guy honestly seemed like he was trying to fix the problem. So, no ill will towards Comcast or anything like that. But to get on with it here, was able to trace the problem to a high upstream power level problem. When anybody who's not familiar with this, I'm going to show you here. Pretty much any cable modem. This is how you're going to get to see your power levels and also your signal to noise ratio and just the basic settings of the modem. On pretty much any cable modem, whether it's a VoIP modem or a regular just data modem, you want to go to 192.168.100.1 on any web browser connected to the modem, either through a router or through direct connection to the modem. And this will bring you up. Different modems are going to look different, but what you want to get to is to the status page or either the signal page. And you'll see these numbers right here. Maybe the camera will focus here a little bit. But you've got your downstream power level right here, downstream signal to noise ratio, your upstream power level right here in frequency, and your upstream modulation. Okay, now what these mean, basically the downstream is just how the cable modem is receiving the signal. Obviously that would be a downstream, and the upstream is the cable modem talking back to the actual provider. This number right here, this 36 dBVM or dBMV, is the one that I was having the problem with. 36 is actually a pretty good number from the research that I've done. If you see that number start to creep up in the upper 40s, lower 50s, or even mid to upper 50s, that's where you're going to start seeing disconnect problems. It's different from modem to modem. Certain modems can handle more. But basically what happens is the modem is having to put out more and more power to connect back to the company, back to the provider, and basically shuts itself off if it gets too high. And that will cause, obviously, your drops. So, problem with this is, this can be helped by eliminating splitters in your line. It can be helped by shortening the cables and the amount of cables that you have. But, and I'll show you the situation I have, if you're like a lot of people that live in apartments, trying to get started and everything, you especially if you have kids and multiple rooms. As you can see, I've got 2 bedrooms here and a third down that way. What you end up with, and you end up with a drop line somewhere where it's probably not very convenient, but what you end up with is something that looks like this. You've got multiple splitters, multiple lines going in different directions. Got one going off that way, or this way here to the other bedroom, one going that way, one going back in there to the cable receiver, and then one going back to the cable modem. Now I have my cable modem hooked directly up. This line right here goes to the cable modem. I have it as close to the cable, to the actual drop line as I can. Drop lines going up this way, because I don't want any loss of signal, and I definitely don't want any more splitters for this to have to go through to communicate back. Well, I was finally able to figure out what the problem is. And if you have this problem, and it is an upstream power level problem, if you purchase a standard amplifier and put that amplifier in, I don't care how good the amplifier is, it's actually not going to help the problem. As a matter of fact, it's probably going to hurt it, because just the gap in service that you put in is kind of like putting in a splitter, is going to make it have to work even harder to get back, because that amp isn't doing anything to send that signal back. So here's the solution. You need to get a hold of one of these devices right here, and obviously I don't have enough light in here. See if I can fix that real quick. Let's see here. You never can find a flashlight when you need one. Well, I can't find a flashlight right now, so I'll just show you on the computer here. Okay, so this right here is what you need. Here's your product description. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a Motorola, but you want to get an amplifier with, and this is the key, active return cable modem boost. So what that does is it takes the power level that the modem is having to communicate back to the provider and basically makes it to where the modem just has to communicate with this device here. It then amplifies that information back to the cable provider, and it does it on only the frequency that the modem's going to communicate back for. It's about 5 to about 24 or 28 megahertz. So this is, as you can see, a fairly inexpensive device. Here's one right here on Amazon, which is where I purchased mine, for $49. Apologize for the blurriness. They make this unit right here, which you can see the model number there, BDA-K1-RA, which is Motorola. Also, you can get a 4-port, which is the exact same thing, but has 4 ports coming out. Now this one doesn't boost it as much going back, so if you're in a situation where you have a really high return signal or a really high power level, upstream power level, it may be better not to get this one because this doesn't boost it as much back as the other one does. But if you're not as high, if you're in the mid 40s, upper 40s, this should be just fine. The advantage of this is it avoids you having to have the 15 different cables in there like you see that I've got. But basically how this works, this right here is your power. You run a coax cable off of that into a AC adapter, and that AC adapter plugs into your wall or whatever. It does draw a pretty good amount of power. This unit does get pretty warm, but ever since I have done this, and I've done it about 5 days ago, or I did it about 5 days ago, you'll see my status system uptime is 5 days, 16 hours, 47 minutes, 3 seconds. I have not dropped a connection a single time during this period. My upstream power level is now 36. Before, it was about anywhere ranging from 49 to 58. It's now 36. And it's been very, very helpful. It seems to have finally fixed my problem. So just posting this video, if you're running into this specific problem, dropping connection randomly, modem is power cycling, especially if you're a good long ways from the drop line or the drop box, check your upstream power level. It may be a very easy problem to fix, but this is a very, very frustrating problem if you don't know what it is, and Comcast just doesn't seem to know how to fix it. So hope this helps somebody out. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Send them to me in a message. I'll be glad to help you out, answer anything. I hope this helps maybe somebody not have to go through the same problem I have. All right, I hope you guys have a great day, and good luck.